Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ASRC American Sports Car Series live from Montreal, Canada at the world-renowned Circuit Gilles Villeneuve circuit up here. So we are here for round 10 of this 24-round season. Competition really heating up as we have 10 cars set to race here tonight and a massive field of Daytona prototypes, which never fail to upset. I'm also joined here up in the booth tonight with good friend of mine, Carter Kundinger. So we're going to be calling the race up top here, and we are wrapping up qualifying in just 3 minutes. We'll be set to go racing here at Montreal. Alrighty, so Carter, welcome to the booth. I want to say welcome here. You haven't really ever been in any of these, but thanks for stopping in and calling the race with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Carter, so I'm assuming you probably have way more experience on this track than me, considering I just bought this track just last night. So can you give us a little bit of a rundown of what this track's all about?
Yeah, sure. So it's an interesting track, home of the Canadian Grand Prix for Formula One, and basically you start out on that little front straight right there, comes into turn one, gives yourself a little bit of a carousel sort of feel, but a little tiny to be that, and then pretty much from then on it's just a lot of chicane-like corners. So you got right lefts, lefts rights. I mean, it's a great track. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a cool track. It's really, really narrow, so that's going to be something that the DPs are going to have to work around the GT3 cars tonight, considering, again, how narrow this circuit is. But not a big GT3 field. We really haven't been seeing a lot of those cars, but just a lot of DPs. This is pretty much turning into a Daytona prototype series, that is for sure. Now, Carter, I know you used to run the HPD in the series before the cut line. So what car have you been racing with recently in the series?
Well, ever since they cut off the HPD, which was, oh gosh, like a couple months ago, I've never really been a big fan of the DP, so I went to the GT3 car. I really like the Audi. Audi is one of my favorite GT3 cars, so there's actually no GT3s in this grid for today, so I decide, you know what, let's hop in with Kyle. Let's let's do a broadcast.
Yeah, that works for sure. Again, like I said, this is turning into a Daytona prototype series, which is actually really interesting, considering I've never seen anything really like this where it's just Daytona prototype. But anyway, we are wrapping up qualifying in just about 30 seconds here, and we will run through the grid here, and we'll get set for 1 hour of green flag racing. Again, this is round 10, live from Montreal here. Round 11 will be at Daytona, right back where we started this season. And following that, my favorite track, Watkins Glen. So two very good good races coming up in the month of June. And I do believe we come back to Montreal later on in the season, either October, November, somewhere around there. Qualifying is wrapping up here, and we're going to run through our grid in just a few minutes here. Got a few cars left on the track trying to run their flyers here. One of them being the 97 of Kevin Furlan. And looks like that is wrapping up qualifying. And let's just let everyone grid. And Carter, would you like to run us through the starting lineup?
I sure will. So we have a 10-car DP field, bleeding all of them off with a lap time that is 1 second faster than the rest of the field. The 32 car of Stefan Schlacker. Right beside him on the grid, we have the 3 car of Curl and Andrew. Behind those two, in the third place, we have the 18 car, the owner of the league, Michael Blake. And right beside Michael, we have the 67 car of Andrew Stokes. In fifth place, Kevin Furline, with sixth place being Pat McWhorter. Seventh place, Twitch streamer Kyle Young. Eighth place, the 173 car of Philip Brialt. Ninth place, the 21 car of Tim Phillips. And rounding out the field, 10th place, 73 car of T. Michael Foley.
Good job. All right, so iRacing.com roof pace car, pacing us around. And now I have no idea what this track is like. So Carter, can you tell me if this is a full pace lap or just one of those shortened pace laps?
Well, what they do is they actually start on the main straight. So they will start all the way by the hairpin corner. They will just do that little straight section, and then they'll have the one chicane, and then it's green flag. So very short little pace lap for this field.
Alrighty, so 19 seconds, and the cars will roll off for 60 minutes of racing here in Montreal. Let's take a look at our track facts before we get moving here. Again, we are in Montreal, Canada. Track length is 2.678 miles. Track temp, a cool 83.53. We're at an altitude of 27 feet, so probably one of the lowest altitudes we've had here. And 13 turns on this 2.6 mile circuit. Take a look at our weather here. A cool 78.13 degrees. Track temp 83.53. 58% humidity, and the forecast is partly cloudy for this evening's race. And we're going to be leading the field down to the green flag here as 32 car going to lead them down.
Yeah, very cold track. It'll be interesting to see if cold tires will become a factor in these first couple laps, cause a few maybe major minor wrecks. Stefan's coming to the line.
Green flag is in the air here at Montreal. And it's like a pretty clean start looking through the back of that field there. Looks like no major incidents. Stefan Schaschler already breaking out to a pretty decent lead so far, but you can see how narrow the circuit is when I was bringing up earlier. And Carter, you were bringing up a point about cold tires, and cold tires in this car is not a good day. You know, perfect example, 24 hours at Daytona in this car. First lap at the night weather.
Deadly, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, you can't even drive the car. It's like a brick. It drives like a street stock on a road course. So these drivers have their hands full, and it looks like Andrew Stokes already has some damage on the right front of his car. Could have gotten into someone in the first couple turns there, but it looks a little bit bent up on the front end there on the right side in that number 67 Coca-Cola machine. But he is comfortably sitting fourth.
Coming by to complete their first lap. Field is very single file, so not much action happening.
Yeah, you know, this is what is kind of the rhythm of a lot of these races. It is a lot of single file action until it gets down to the end. I mean, perfect example, last week we had Michael Blake contending for the win. And then pit stops cycled through, and then I believe he was battling for third. I don't remember with who, but great race towards the end. But these guys are just trying to get their tires up to temperature and keep control of their cars, and then we'll get to some actual racing as Michael Blake kind of locks up the brakes coming to that turn right there. That 32 car is already broken out to a 2-second lead, so a massive, massive lead he's already got here. 32 car, Stefan Schaschler, he is always on top of his game when these races. I believe he's only been in 3 or 4 of them, but he is always a contender for the top spot for sure.
Yeah, we had the first 4 cars pretty spread out, but once you get to that 5th spot of Kevin and Pat and Kyle, it's a good battle, very close, with Philip falling a little bit behind and Michael right behind him.
And bringing up another point here, the ASRC European World Sports Car Series is actually going to Le Mans June 12th. So that's the next round they have in that series. That is broadcasted on Apex Racing.
It's my birthday.
Well, there you go. Maybe you can race that and pick up a win. But that is 8 p.m. London time, so I think that's 5 hours minus Eastern time.
Yeah, so midday for us Americans.
Yeah, midday on Monday. But that's for sure. And that's to bring up another point. Carter, do you intend on running Le Mans in just a few weeks here on iRacing?
I actually am, yeah. I'm gonna go do it with a bunch of the guys at ClanOD.net. You know, really, really nice guys, very competitive, so I'm gonna be running the Aston in there, and hopefully we can get a win. And yeah, so a lot of preparation for that. I got the Autobahn 2.4 hours of Le Mans that Monday, and then gonna be on the practice grind the whole week with Le Mans that Saturday. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Hey, but don't forget, we gotta throw some of that new Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels update in there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll have to find some extra time for that.
Yeah, but car's still pretty much running single file for the moment here. Kind of got a battle going on for the 6th position here. Kyle Young and Pat McCorder really close. Actually, this entire 4-car string, starting with Kevin Furlan, these guys are extremely close together. And it's going to get a little bit racy in this group, I can feel it, as we are just 5 minutes into this race. Also, pretty tight battle for 2nd place. Carolyn Andrew and Michael Blake. The 3 and the 18. Pretty much single file, but they are definitely getting close there. And they are running very similar lap times. Looking at the lap times here, they are just 0.3 of a second apart. But Stefan Schaschler in the 32, he is gone with about, he is over a second faster than 2nd place right now, and he is just tearing it up.
Looks like we have Kyle Young going on the outside of the back straight, going into the final chicane for 5th place right now. That's 7th to 5th in 1 lap.
Yeah, Kyle Young, he is always on top of his game in this series, making a lot of moves, and he is just splitting that pack there. And it looks like that 4-car pack is now a 3-car pack with Kevin Furlan leading that. And looks like Pat McCorder, he looks like he's hungry for that 6th position here. He's looking a little bit aggressive.
bobble from Kevin going deep into that last little chicane portion.
Yeah, it looks like that's gonna give Pat McWhorter a little bit of damage on the left side. I'm getting a little bit of artifacting, folks. So if the stream's looking a little bit wonky, it's just iRacing's on having some issues there.
Yeah, Pat's got some cosmetic body damage on that left rear now. I don't know if that was from the contact or what.
Yeah.
Now we have Philip going to the inside of the last chicane. It's going very deep, locks up the brakes.
Yeah, that's going to cost him right there, going off in that run-up area. And looks like he has the front end of his car scraped up too, so a lot of carnage early on in this race.
Looks like something happened to Michael Blake. He was 0.5 seconds behind him going into that starting the lap, and now he's way behind.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think it's any down. Oh, there he goes. Michael Blake getting a little bit off the curving there, and he's gotta calm himself down a little bit and get back into a rhythm because he is having some issues right now.
Yeah, and what it sounds like, it appears to be, he cut that first corner and he tried to get rid of the slowdown, and it just would not go away. So I believe he does have a black flag from not getting rid of the slowdown.
Well, we'll see, but again, this could play out good for him because, again, these guys do need to pit, but I don't know if he pits in the next couple laps or so, if he will have enough time to finish the race on fuel and tires. I'm pretty sure tires are not an issue, but fuel, on the other hand, that's definitely an issue because I know they have to do a couple pit stops, or at least one pit stop for fuel.
60-minute race, you should be fine on one set of tires. I know from the many Proto GT races and Autobahn races I've done, should be fine on one set of tires to run the whole way.
But that's kind of avoided if you're driving like extremely aggressive, and I'm not really seeing any of those guys driving really aggressive at the moment. But pretty big battle. That sixth place battle looks like we got a 4-car string, starting with the 97 to Kevin Furlan all the way back to Tim Phillips, and these guys are pretty much just in a conga line, and they're all pretty much equal distance apart. So if any of them screw up, they're getting passed by a lot of guys. So let's hop on the onboard here with Michael Foley and watch him as he navigates this traffic here.
Looks like he's gonna get passed by Philip right there. Yep, he's just gonna let him by.
And he is just looks like he's losing ground from that pack here. But back up front, looks like Pat McWhorter is trying to peek to the outside a little bit, but he can't get it done. A little bit of brake lock up there.
Yeah, clip the grass just a little bit. I almost upset the car right there. Saved it. That's a good job.
Yeah, Pat McWhorter, he's definitely trying to take over that position, and he is pushing it.
Looks like Kevin has been holding up this whole line. Hence the reason Kai Young is already 7 seconds away from Kevin in just those few laps.
Yeah, you know, that would make sense here, because again, passing is just really hard. But looks like McWhorter is trying to suck up to the back of his car and make a move.
Ooh,
Likes him up right there. And looking at the lap times here, Kevin Furlan is actually running the fastest times in this group right now, 1:32.4. Everyone else is about a tenth slower than him. However, Philip Bro, he just turned a 1:31.9. And it looks like McWhorter's gonna, he's trying to do something. And looks like Pat McWhorter's gonna try something. Oh, I think he's gonna. Yep, McWhorter's gonna make it stick, and he will move up into the 6th position. Good move by McWhorter there, but let's get back up front, check on our leader here. And Stefan Schaschler, 7.4 second lead, just cruising comfortably. No damage on that car whatsoever. This is
As Kevin pulls past Pat on the straight and going through the chicane, Pat gives him a little nudge in the rear. Could have been more than likely his damage that allowed Kevin to get by, because he just started to pull right at him and go right past him. Which has now allowed Philip to catch up to those two.
Yeah, but definitely, yeah, that aero damage is definitely hurting them. Both those cars. So 15 minutes into tonight's race here, and pretty much single file for the time being. And the closest battle on track is the battle for 6th place right now, between Kevin Furlan, Pat McWhorter, Philip Rowe, and Michael Foley. Other than that, I'm not really seeing any battles going on, except Andrew Stokes has caught up to Michael Blake and now has a gap of 1.5 seconds. And Michael Blake looks like he scraped the wall a little bit there. You could see some sparks fly out the right side there as he scrapes the wall.
Pat McWhorter is going to look on the outside of the hairpin for the battle for 6th place with Kevin.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to do something, but that hairpin seems to be where most of the action is for passing wise, because it looks fairly important for them to make a move there.
And it just looks like with Pat, he's getting the draft from Kevin, but just not able to pull away from him due to that damage.
Yeah, that aero damage definitely costs you. I know it looks really minimal on the car, but it does a lot of damage to the aero and slows the car down a lot. So hopefully he can get some of that damage fixed when he hits pit lane here. But McWhorter is working double time to get around Furlan.
So we're just getting past the 20-minute mark of the race, and for status up front, Stefan Schlacker has a 8-second gap to Curlin Andrews behind him, so he's continuing to pull away, but also pulling away from the guy behind him is Curlin. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say Michael Blake hit pit road, but he just blanked a little bit, and it came up on my timing as he pitted.
Yeah, so pulling away from is Michael Blake, and he's getting caught up by Andrew Stokes in 4th place, and Kyle Young is slowly catching up to them in 5th place.
Had McWhorter getting a little bit tail happy coming through there. And Pat McWhorter, looks like he spun out a little bit. Let's take a peek at that replay. See what happened. Right along with him, but it looks like he got into Kevin Furlan. That's going to cost him.
Evasive maneuvers on the inside of that corner just to miss him. So good job by Philip.
Yeah, it's gonna cost McWhorter big time. That's gonna lengthen out this little pack here that we were having.
Well, as Andrew Stokes goes wide into the last chicane, hops over the last bump of the chicane and goes straight into the barrier. That'll give him some damage. Nothing too major though.
Oh, looks like
Michael Blake spins right in front of him. Yeah, turn 1.
A lot of issues in turn 1. And Michael Blake goes around there. That's gonna cost him a lot, as he will fall back to 4th with that incident right there.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are just not finding.
Oh, Michael Blake around again. And he's going to have to get back in his rhythm. That's going to cost Michael Blake a lot. He is now fallen back to 5th. Kyle Young is around him now, and Kevin Furlan isn't that far behind. But Philip Burrow has closed the gap on the 97 car of Kevin Furlan, and he will be looking to strike here, as he's going to maybe look to the outside or inside. Looks like no, he's not going to try anything just yet. Oh, Furlan off on the dirt a little bit, and Philip Burrow is swinging all around. I don't know if he's going to look to the inside. He's going to look to the inside, maybe. Nope. But that front end damage is definitely slowing Bro down.
Looks like Philip Brault is going to go on the left side of Kevin going into turn 1.
I don't think...
Gonna break early.
Yeah, he wasn't able to make it work.
Yeah, he's going to give Kevin the first turn, but ooh, that was close.
Yeah, Kevin Furlan had a little bit of tightness there, and almost Bro got around him.
Now he's going to go to the inside.
Oh, that's contact. Oh, big crash.
No.
Oh, that be a quarter coming through now? That's gonna be, that's huge right there. And Michael, I believe it was Michael Blake who just snuck right by maybe. But let's go look at that replay because that was a big incident there.
Looks like Kevin just got a slow corner exit and just kind of squeezed the gap just a little bit. Probably not expecting Philip to dive down the inside like that.
Take a look at this replay. We'll throw it in slow motion. And just to see what happened here. And it looks like Ferland just comes down on him and Bro had nowhere to go and he got loose, tried to save it. Good work by him to save it though. Really fast hands there. Gets major opposite lock. Tries to turn it around. I believe that was Michael Foley. Yes, Michael Foley. He may have gotten some damage too from that incident. May have made contact when he was trying to avoid him. But it's going to cost them a lot and definitely going to shake up this race as we are almost getting ready to start seeing some green flag pit stops. But looks like Curlin Andrew has shortened the 32 car of Stefan Schachler's lead by about 2 seconds. So Curlin also has an extremely damage-free car, and he's going to work really hard to see if he can get up and take that victory.
Curlin just shrunk the gap again down to 6.3 at the line, so wonder if tires are now getting to Stefan.
But Tim Phillips and Philip Bro, Philip trying to rebound from that incident earlier, but all 10 cars that have started are still running here, and Philip Bro's having some issues getting around Tim Phillips. Like Tim Phillips gets a little bit loose into that super up there, but let's fall back here to 4th position. Kyle Young 5 seconds behind Andrew Stokes, and actually, Carter, do you know if the 32 and the 93 are on a team because they're running the same paint scheme?
They are indeed on a team, but our first DP down pit lane, Michael Foley Jr.
And he's going to hit pit road. Let's see what he takes here. I'd assume just fuel. I don't know if he'll take gas or not, but I do not think the car will jack up for just fuel.
Yeah, the 32 car of Stefan Schlacker and the 93 of Kyle Young both running the same RevComGaming.com paints. The white with green accent looks very nice. I like it.
Alright, looks like the 73 is getting some damage repair. No tires to be taken, and he will get back out there. Carter, do you know if they have quick resets? Because The 73 is damage
Um,
free.
there is no uh, quick repairs. I don't believe. Well, oh god, it's been 2 weeks since I raced. That's a long time. There may or may not be quick repairs. I do not.
Yeah, we'll have to see once the other guys with damage pit.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, folks. I want to apologize for that. Spectrum decided to kill itself there, and I just lost all internet connection. So, Carter, if you could pretty much, if anything interesting happens, just call it out. I should be getting back in sim in just a few moments here.
Yeah,
As
no, really nothing missed. Right now we just have Tim Phillips car, the 21 car from ninth place coming into the pits. It's only our second car going in. So nothing much happening, just single file racing.
again, folks, I want to apologize. And the internet decided to just quit working for a minute there. Again, I just probably think it's part of the how Time Warner and Spectrum are merging, and server issues and server nodes and whatever. So it's gonna take a minute here for me to get back up, but we should be back up and running in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, that was strange. I was watching Curlin Andrew, and for some reason he was going down the back straight, went all the way to the right side, shot over to the left side, and on my screen smacked the wall. I have no clue if that's for real or if that may have been a mistake on his part, but that was definitely interesting.
So then I might not be the only one having network issues then.
Yeah, I don't know. That was strange. I don't know how and if he actually lost it on that straight. As we have the 97 car from eighth place of Kevin Furline coming into the pits. Now we got the 67 car of Andrew Stokes heading in from third place as he smacks the pit wall coming in. This may be my internet because he's now just roughing along the pit wall. That's strange. But he is going very slow down pit lane.
All right, I'm back in sim here, and now Carter, did you see anyone go in that did get any damage repair? And I'm just coming in as the leader is hitting
As
pit
the
lane.
leader, yep. I did see the car of Kevin Furline come in, and he had a bunch of right rear damage. That's all fixed, but him and Philip have been sitting in the pits for an abnormally long time, so I do not know exactly what is up. As the second place car of Curlin Andrew comes in as well. Which will currently give the lead to the 93 car of Kyle Young.
And that's just going to be for a few minutes there, as I don't think he can make up that 8 seconds within and pit that time.
Yeah. As the fourth place car of Michael Blake comes in.
Yeah, Blake pitting pit lane here, starting to
Yeah,
cycle through. Yeah, so I think around
like,
the 30 minutes to 25-minute mark is pretty much the pit window here. Sorry for cutting you off there.
That, but no, you're good. But Andrew Stokes has disconnected from the race. Might be some internet issues or wheel issues. But that was definitely strange. He was coming down pit lane and smacked the pit wall and just started rubbing against it. Definitely not something you see every every day. Yeah, Philip and Kevin have been sitting there for a long time. They're now leaving the pits, but that was abnormally long. As Kyle Young is pitting, so that should be the last of the pit stops remaining.
And I'm not sure, but I think Kyle Young might come out third. Actually, yeah, he will come out third. And it looks like Pat McCorder hitting pit lane as well.
Pat McCorder, yeah, so that should be the last one after Pat.
Yeah, this pit lane gap is pretty crazy. It's like, if they're on the end of pit lane, it's like a 30-second gap. Carolyn Andrew, 21 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, as Philip comes in again for a second pit stop after the lap after coming right out after his super long pit stop, so something there. Alright, once all these pit stops and everything files through, we'll give you a rundown of the order. As Philip should be out, so iRacing will process who's where and what's driving still.
And pretty much closest battle we got here is for the 6th position, and that is a 6.4 second gap. So the field is pretty strung out here for, I'd guess, the last 20 minutes. Alright, Carter, I'm going to step away for a second. I got to go use the bathroom. I'll be back in like a minute. So just keep the folks entertained here.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's what's good about having a co-commentator. Alright, I'll be right back in a second.
Alright, so it looks like all these pit stops should be filed through, so rundown of the order right now. Stefan Schlacker, first place still. He's got a fairly big lead. According to iRacing, 23 seconds, so maybe Curlin took tires or just had some trouble on that pit stops, but So he's pulled out a big lead to Curlin Andrew, 23 seconds behind. Car in second place. Following Curlin is the other Archon car of Kyle Young, who's 7 seconds behind Curlin. Following Kyle, we have the 18 car of Michael Blake. And a little ways away, we have the 84 car of Pat McWhorter. In 6th place, a little bit behind Pat, Michael Foley. And then 7th, a little bit behind Michael is Tim Phillips. And a few laps down is Kevin Furlan in 8th. And Philip Brault in 9th. As we have the 18 car of Michael Blake is sitting in the pits right now. Let's see if I can figure out what happened.
Alright, I'm back. Oh, Michael Blake looks like he had an issue. And, yeah, alright, folks, give me a second here. My Discord is not picking me up right now.
Yeah, looks like he just wasn't having it locked up going into the final chicane.
Alright, I'm back, Carter.
Welcome back.
And we are 16 minutes to the good here, and looks like I'm willing to put my money on Stefan Schaeffler, and he will take home the round 10 victory here at Montreal. So dominating performance by him. He's led 28 out of the 28 laps, so hats off to him so far, as I believe he will take home the win tonight. I hate to jump to conclusions, but he has such a massive lead at the moment, and I think Kyle Young could potentially move up into second, but that's a big gap he's got to work through tonight.
Yeah, while you were gone, we had a couple disconnects. Kevin Furlan disconnected, and then just recently, right before you got back, Michael Blake was not having the car. Locked up going into the final chicane. Was done, out.
And while there's not a lot of action going on track right now, I will run through the next 3 months of races. So that would be June, July, and August. So the summer months here. So first race in June here, that would be June 12th. Again, all these races are broadcasted live on Sim Racing Streams. Daytona, followed by Watkins Glen. Those are your June races. July, we got Pocono as well as Mossport. In August, Homestead, Miami, and Lime Rock Park. And those are the 6 races throughout the summer months that we'll be seeing live here on Sim Racing Streams, 7:45 Eastern on Monday nights.
Yeah, Pocono will be a fun one, especially if iRacing is planning on doing that repave of Pocono and releasing it for this next upcoming build. So that would mean that we would have their new road course, if that is what is getting scanned in. So that would be great. Get a feel of a new track in this series.
What week is it currently? Is it like week 9 or something around there?
It is week 11 right
Oh,
now.
phew.
Going over to week 11.
Where have I been? But yeah, what's like rumored to come out? I mean, I would assume that we could potentially, with the April Fool's teaser, we could potentially see another Porsche coming out. Maybe the GTE Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, all that's been said. GT Ferrari I've seen is not exactly going to come out this build. They're just not ready. What I have seen, however, is that time attack, which will be interesting, where you can take any car, any track, and put it up against everyone. So
yeah,
that should be fun.
Yeah, the new time attack feature. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not really sold on it. To where, I mean, I feel like the iRacing should be more of a competitive landscape where it's live, not the time. That's just my opinion. I think it's just gonna be a fad.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna be something that's different. That and the new UI system, and hopefully, I always like these builds. There's always something new, and I always like trying something new. Hopefully there is something new. But it sounds like there's not going to be very much new content other than that time attack. That seems like what's going to take it up a lot.
I mean, but I know the iRacing Porsche announcement. I mean, that was a surprise to everybody. And I mean, look at the Audi A90 GTO and the Nissan ZXP. Those came out of nowhere. No one knew that they were working on those, and of course those cars were fads and they were good for a few weeks and then no one drives them anymore. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something just plain out of right field. So
yeah, just random. I mean, I like that. I like the surprise factor. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and especially with the fact that Dirt's done now, and they're done with that. Well, not done with it, but the implementation of it in the sim is done, and that was the big project. So they should have a lot more time to, potentially release some more content, whether it is track cars, Watkins Glen repave. But yeah, but I think in the next couple builds we're gonna be seeing content coming out at a staggering rate for sure.
Yeah, this definitely has a little tiny off going to the first corner, but no biggie, just a little bit of lockup. But yeah, I mean, with iRacing coming out with Dirt and just DX11 and all the marbles and all that, I mean, the future is bright for iRacing. There's a lot of things on the agenda. There's the day-night transitions, rain, bunch of new cars, bunch of tracks. Just, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what iRacing plans on bringing out in the next few years.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some more stuff, like more endurance kind of stuff. I mean, LMP1, that's like a huge thing that everyone seems to want. I feel like, it'd be nice if we could get either Prototype 3 or the L1, like what they run in IMSA Prototype Challenge, somewhere around those lines. I think that would probably be a fun car. But for sure, we don't really know what iRacing is going to be doing in the next build. So going to be interesting for sure to see what they uh like what comes out. I mean, even look at Bull Ring, the Bull Ring at Las Vegas. No one expected that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no pre-announcement. It just came Monday. Oh, hey, we got a new track. So, I mean, there's probably gonna be some dirt content coming out too of the build too.
Yeah, dirt and rallycross.
Probably not real. I think Rallycross. I mean, I don't think they're gonna go through with it for a few more years.
Soon. As Stefan gets past Pat McWhorter to put Pat a lap down.
And we are in the final minutes here of tonight's race, winding down here with just 9 minutes to go.
And not to take all your viewers away, Kyle, but don't forget ASRC's other series, the World Sports Car Series. That one is broadcasted by Apex because Kyle and me, are not able to broadcast it because we're too busy learning, which is weird.
Or
but,
yeah, school.
Boring.
But I already did bring up the World Sports Car Series earlier on in the stream.
So,
But
I mean, it's broadcasted by Apex. I love what those guys do. Those guys are awesome. They broadcast one of the Jetta leagues I run in, which is always a blast. 15 and 30 minutes of Kia and Jetta craziness. It's always fun. So yeah, and then fun series. Got a bunch of guys in there, a bunch of prototypes, GT1s, and Ford GT2s.
Yeah, but I have watched some of the World Sports Car Series racing, and that is definitely what these guys want to get to. These Monday night racers racing the American Sports Car Series want to get to that World Sports Car Series. Extremely competitive. They have massive fields, so you guys aren't doing anything on the Mondays that is scheduled. Again, every single race, the schedules, broadcast points, everything is all on ASRConline.com. So feel free to check that out if you are interested in joining the league, or just kind of being a fan and seeing what's going on around the league.
Everybody very spread out in these final last minutes, but really we only have one last battle on the track, and that's that battle for second, which is slow closing up
Yeah, and
between second place Curlin Andrew and third place Kyle Young.
yeah, we mentioned Kyle Young about 10 minutes ago, and he was at a 6-second gap, so he has cut that in half. But I don't think he has enough time unless he really, really pushes and Colonel Andrew lets off the pedal. But definitely a battle to watch, which I'm going to estimate that we're going to have, I'm going to say 3 more laps, if even that.
And it'll be close with a 1.5-minute lap times, probably 4.5 minutes of 3 laps. Yeah, that's just about right. And it looks like that gap coming to the line has closed from 3 seconds all the way down to almost 1.5 seconds. So it's getting tighter and tighter each lap.
Oh, that's going to cost Kyle Young right there, a little bit loose.
Yeah,
but
I was hoping he was going to catch him, but just going into that corner just spun it just a tad and upset the car.
Yeah, but you could see he shrunk that gap by about half a second there in just that short time. So, but he still has time. I think he will have, depending on where Stefan is, I think we're going to have maybe 1 lap remaining. This could potentially be the white flag this time if he crosses the line about... I believe that next lap will be the last one.
As Curlin Andrew goes wide going into and misses his first corner going into that last chicane.
Oh, this battle
to catch back up.
This battle is gonna heat up for second place, and we are getting the white flag in just a few moments here, and this is gonna be a good finish. And the white flag will be next time by. So Stefan Schaffler, he is coming down. But keep our eyes on this battle here for second. This is going to be really interesting between Kyle Young and Erlen Andrew here. As Stefan Schaffler will take the white flag, just 13 more turns, and he will get this win. But we're going to keep our eyes on this battle as Curlin Andrew, he's around. And that looks like that will cost him the second place finish there. Let's take a peek at this replay, see what happened.
Yeah, and as I heard from on the radio, he's out of fuel right now, so he did not put enough in the tank to get to the end.
Alright, yeah, so it looks like he locked his tires. And now Curlin's out of fuel?
Yeah, Curlin is trying to get to the end right now.
Yeah, he's trying to make it to the pits. I don't know if he can. He's going to have to roll there. He's going to have to hope Stefan gets around him before he crosses the line, or else he's gonna get or else it's gonna screw him over. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to finish today, Curlin Andrew.
No, he
Unfortunately,
passed pit lane, yeah.
unfortunate ending for Curlin, as he will have to park the car and get towed. Unfortunate, but Stefan Schaschler, he is coming down the backstretch right now, and he will take home the checkered flag. He's doing a little bit of a celebration here, swerving left to right, and the 32 car, Stefan Schaschler, will take home the win. The ASRC American Sports Car Series Round 10 from Montreal. And Kyle Young going to bring the car home second, but just an unfortunate ending for Curlin Andrew, as he's going to have to retire from this one. Kyle Young coming to the line for the final time. I believe we have another car out of fuel. Michael Foley could potentially be out of fuel.
Yeah, it looks like he's slowly sputtering just to get to the line. He should be fine because he is the second to last car to finish. So he will get passed up by Tim Phillips at the end.
I don't know. He might make it home first. I don't know. Oh, this is going to be close. Ooh. Oh, that's a close one. And Tim Phillips looks like he may be out of gas as well, unless he already crossed the line.
I think everybody crossed the line.
Except for Curlin Andrew, and he is retiring from this race, unfortunately. But let's run through our finishing grid here. Coming home with the win, Stefan Schaschler, Kyle Young second, third Curlin Andrew, fourth Pat McWhorter, fifth Tim Phillips, sixth Michael Foley, seventh Philip Rowe. Rounding off eighth, we have Michael Blake, ninth Kevin Ferlin, and rounding up field in 10th tonight, we have Andrew Strokes. On behalf of Sim Racing Streams, my name is Kyle Streichars. I am joined here with Carter Kundinger. Thank you for watching, and have a safe night, folks, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Back down south in Daytona Beach, Florida, for round 11 of the ASRC American Sports Car Series. Thank you for tuning in tonight, folks.